T-Work specializes in cross-cultural communication. It definitely has impact across the board with all sectors, if it be oil and gas, healthcare, tourism, information technology, real estate accounting, non-for-profits. There is application for cross-cultural communication. Calgary, Alberta, Canada, we're becoming so much more diverse that you can't necessarily communicate or do business the same way that you have been doing it 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even 2 years ago. Statistically, we are becoming more diverse, and you can't necessarily let that go. You have to embrace that and start communicating more effectively, not just with your staff, but your client base as well as your global markets. Your global markets are definitely where you can make impact if you communicate effectively, and that's what I do. I teach people practical strategies that they can utilize immediately, that they can implement in not only their jobs and professional lives, but personal lives as well. So in a typical T-Work seminar, we will concentrate mostly on communication and marketing strategies. I really think if people can learn how to communicate more effectively, that they can start effectively working both with their fellow employees, with their client base. So that's a key component of what I would be concentrating on. We look at stereotypes, and we look at stereotypes in a way of why do we have those stereotypes and breaking them down, because then you can start effectively communicating as well. We look at nonverbal communication. Nonverbal communication is so important because that's where people end up offending others without ever realizing it whatsoever. So we'll look at gestures, eye contact, posture, smell, silence, all of them, all the way down the gamut to really effectively learn how we can use that nonverbal in a way where we're not offending the people that we care about the most, our client base and our staff. When people hear cultural diversity, they get nervous, they think I'm going to shove things down their throat. I really want you to be able to connect more effectively with your client base with practical communication techniques that you can start implementing at 2 p.m. today when you leave today's lunch. You should be able to learn those practical strategies that you can implement immediately. I am going to be spending a lot of time on nonverbal communication as well. Nonverbal communication is an area where a lot of people tend to offend others without ever realizing it at all. Gestures. Let's pretend that I'm just pleased as punch with you guys after this course. I felt like you really learned and retained, prizes were given out, and I did this to you guys after. As Canadians, what would you think this means after the course if I said this to you? Okay, good job, awesome. But if you were French, you would actually think, I have called you worthless. Americans will actually keep their gaze on you longer than Canadians. However, lots of oil and gas, American expats here in Calgary, very subtle, but they actually have a slight distrust for their Canadian colleagues, simply because of the amount of eye contact that they keep. Because what does it mean, potentially, if someone averts a gaze? What would that mean? Exactly, you're shady, you're hiding something, there's something to hide. There's a secret. It's very, very, very subtle. I use a lot of humor in my sessions because I really think humor is a great way to connect with my participants, and it also helps them build trust in me. We have a ridiculous amount of fun in the seminars. I give out prizes during the seminars for right answers. They're very interactive. We do a lot of partner work, group work, exercises that gets them up on their feet. And at the end of the day, not only have they learned something that's practical, but they enjoyed it. It becomes a bonding experience and a team building experience with their staff. So it really has the whole gamut of a fun component of education in the workplace, which I'm very proud of. Are we going to potentially look at working with coding? Yes or no? You're saying a big resounding yes? And Angela's saying no? If I was Cody's boss back in Calgary and said, Cody, how'd you do? You would say what?
I'd say I think I did fairly good.
Exactly. He would go back saying, I did well. And he would be wrong.
I landed the client. Yeah, I'd be completely wrong.
You would be wrong. And it would be no fault of his other than he sat in a way that offended his client. It's not like they're going to tell him, but he never had a hope of getting this job or this business or this deal or this partnership. He never had a hope by how he sat, and he'll never know it. The most important thing is it's not just the right thing to do within society, which is great, but it makes practical business sense. And if businesses aren't applying cross-cultural communication, they're missing opportunity.